Welcome back to the Definitely Not Qualified. Why are we doing this? Who would listen to this? Chronicles, an Attack on Titan podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ronnie.
And I'm Chad.
And today we are here to cover Season 4, Episode 20, Episode 79, Memories of the Future of Attack on Titan.
And we are bringing the energy today. We've gotten a few comments saying that we've got low T.
We got one comment. Chaz got really in his feels about it. It's so weird. Yeah, don't be fooled by the energy. Our brains are very fried. We don't know what we're talking about.
And we are low T.
And you did have we are low T.
My doctor said it's pretty normal for somebody my age though.
Okay, cool.
That did steroids once when he was 14.
And with that being said, before we get too far into it, I hear you've got something that you want to start off the podcast with.
Oh yeah, I wanted to go through a little recap.
All right, never done that before.
Last episode was wild.
Would you say this is a segment?
This is a segment. I'm going to call it Chaz's Recap of the Week.
All right. I've got nothing to do with this, so if it either fails or flourishes, it's all on the shoulders of Chad. Let's see how it goes.
It's not going to be very good, okay? But I figured we got to pay tribute. First off, we didn't do a moment of silence last week for any of the fallen soldiers that we had. So we'll do that at the end of this recap. Second, so much happened last episode. We're officially in the paths. We're officially in the paths, and it's almost like everything that happened didn't really, I don't want to say it didn't really matter, but the end game is here. The brothers have touched. He caught his head, okay? We all saw that coming.
It was on ESPN.
Top 5 play. There was only one play that was better than that. And yeah, we're in the end game. So I wanted to go through a little recap of the little war that we had going on.
All right, let's do it. Do I need to do anything? What do I do with my hands? Do they stay here? Or?
Put them in your pockets.
All right, I'll put them in my pockets.
Don't put the stubby fingers on the
Is there
table.
anything else that you need me to do during this, or is this kind of the Chad show and I just watch you work?
Just smile and wave.
All right.
Well, don't do that. Keep your hands in your pockets.
Good luck.
Porco gets Marco'd. Porco sees older brother Marcel simping. Flockcock Squad is getting swatted like gnats from Big Dick Jin Mag and Peak and her ass. Colt tells Zeke he's getting the Beast Titan. Please don't yell. Zeke laughs, then screams, while Falco then turns into old Slinky Neck while Pixis gets one last gulp of Zeke's fluid to become the ultimate drunk Titan. Falco attacks his girlfriend's older cousin and tries to eat him.
More energy.
BDGM, Big Dick Jin Mag, shoots Zeke's nape and crisis is officially averted. FFF, future founder Flock, lives while the rest of his cocksquawk all dies. Armin then thunder spears. He does a beep bop beepity beep bop bop. The general, while Mikasa does a reversal 9,000 slice of one of my favorite characters, Porky. R.I.P. Porco saves Gabby's cousin from old Sleeky Neck and slides down that long throat. Reiner then gives a good slugging to Mr. Friendly Nice Guy, and
we're losing pace. You got to keep up the pace.
And Aaron does a Simone Biles flip out of his Titan. Reiner gives a good slugging to Mr. Friendly Nice Guy. I just said that.
That's all right. You got the speed backs. People didn't notice.
And Aaron does a Simone Biles flip out of his Titan. Jean and best boy Connie spears Gabby's cousin right when he almost grabs Mr. Friendly Nice Guy. Aaron runs, but is sniped by none other than FaZe Gabby Braun as his head does a Tony Hawk 720 aerial and lands in the glove of his big brother. And now we have entered the paths.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, there was many takeaways. First of all, FFF, future founder Flock, that made me laugh. Also, you had a RIP moment there for Porky. If that's one of the characters you're trying to do a moment of silence for later, not happening. I will not stay silent. And how did you think it went?
I shouldn't have repeated that line, but I had to keep the pace going. I thought it did okay. I thought I did all right there.
No, I thought it went good. And you could tell I could tell that you put a lot of work into it, and that I appreciate. Yeah. I love when you put in some work for the podcast.
Hey, if anybody hates that and you don't want me to do it again, say it. And when you say it, I'm going to do it again. Okay.
My other take was that if we recapped like that, our episodes would be a lot shorter.
Yeah. I think people would like it more if we just
because that is not how this episode's going to go, because we definitely took more notes tonight than we've
that being said,
this half season.
You're exactly right. Tonight and last week is just one of those where your brain, it just feels like I've had the paths in my brain this entire time. That's what it feels like.
I agree.
But that being said, though, I think the moment of silence for our falling soldiers and comrades should commence. Should we mention the names?
You mention the names because I'm thinking that you're trying to slide something by me.
All right, we got the flock squawk besides flock.
All right, no.
The flock cock squawk.
Not a moment of silence. Name one character.
Frank. Okay, Frank was one of them.
You made the name Frank.
No, I swear Frank was actually one of the guys.
He actually was, but he does not. I will not be participating in that moment of silence. You can.
Future founder Frank. Okay, we got Frank. We've got...
Well, you got Frank. So far, I've got nothing.
Porco,
I'll let slide. He can receive a moment of silence.
We've also got... And by the way, Porco died not in his Marleyan armband.
Okay.
Because you know why? Freedom.
All right. This guy's been on the Reddit.
Freedom. Future freedom flock. No, there's 4 Fs. There's going to be 4. I'm going to keep adding Fs to Flock's
Porco.
name.
Why are you saying flock?
I don't know. I just like Flock a lot. Porky, and then we've got... Who else after Porky?
I know who it is. You're the one that's... Come on.
Pixis.
Oh, wow. Not who I thought you were going with. How about Colt that got his face burned off? Is that... He doesn't deserve... So, wait. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. All he was doing was looking for Falco. It's kind of sad for Falco. You know, I'll think about him a second in my moment of silence. But you're telling me you were trying to give a moment of silence to Flock's Squawk, but not Colt?
All right. He's Falco's brother.
My moment of silence this evening will be attributed to Porco and Pixis, mainly Pixis.
Okay. And I'm going to add Nile in there. I think Nile's pretty cool, too.
Nah, Nile didn't get one from me. All right.
And Porky.
Is this still patent pending? Has that paperwork come through yet?
It hasn't come through yet, but it is patent pending.
All right, so no one fucking steal it because that paperwork's going to come through and we're going to sue your ass. And how do you want to start it?
Commence to silence.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go. Dude, what the fuck happened this episode?
That recap was fucking terrible. You're never doing that shit again.
Yeah, I am.
No, that was fucking bullshit. Did you copy that from someone?
I copy and pasted off a Reddit website.
FFF. That was terrible. Really bad job.
Triple F.
You gotta start doing better.
Okay, triple F. And there we go. Moment of silence for the fallen comrades.
All right.
Awesome.
Miss you guys. And so 8 minutes in.
And also, that was for you, Miss Argentina. We had somebody in the Discord say, wow, no moment of silence for any of the fallen victims.
I didn't see that, but I do love Miss Argentina on the Discord, so I'm happy to oblige in that moment of silence.
We should have done it in Argentinese, though, in that language.
So,
pay respects.
8 minutes in, are we ready to get to the first minute of the episode, you think?
I think we're ready.
All right, well, actually, before we do that, how about some general thoughts here? What do you think of the episode as a whole?
2 thumbs up for me.
Okay. That was very general, so thank you. I think we're trying to get as many little punchline jokes in because I didn't write any in my notes because I don't know where the jokes are.
Yeah.
I gotta find the jokes.
Okay. We obviously rewatch this and take notes after the initial watching. I think I told you during the second watch. In my initial watching, I just had this uneasy feeling in my body for 20-something minutes.
My first initial thoughts was, what is this Ebenezer Scrooge bullshit? Now, I enjoyed it all the way through, but for a large part of it, I was kind of wondering why they were showing it to us in the sense that, it's kind of like Zeke is showing all this to Aaron, but it's way more important and meaningful for Zeke. Aaron could not care less. We're going to get into it. Let's do it now. We start out inside the wall many years ago. Little chubby baby arm is reaching for the sky and is crawling around in an absolute putrid shade of yellow. This yellow is a top 5 worst color of all time. Terrible.
Yeah, do you think he just pissed himself?
I mean, that's what it looks like.
It does look like it.
Looks like he's been soaking in some piss.
Well, I don't know about soaking in it.
Well, the whole thing's that colored yellow. It's a putrid yellow, and it looks like he's been soaking in it.
Is he a cute kid, though? Would you?
Oh, he's a cute kid. We knew that. We've seen him as a kid before. And he's
chewing on Carla's hair.
And just so chubby. A little chubby guy. But yeah, it's baby Aaron. He gets picked up by Grisha. And then we see current Aaron and Zeke standing in the room, i.e. some Ebenezer Scrooge bullshit.
Yeah. God, I just got to say this. Why is adult, like 20-year-old Aaron, one of the sexiest men in any television
he's
show
so
I've
hot,
ever
it's
seen.
ridiculous. It's so hot, and it's unfair because Zeke has got this, island lost boy going on for him. He looks like the blonde Jesus, and yet he still doesn't even shine on screen next to Aaron.
I mean, he's got a thick-ass beard now.
Looking at some of the scenes, you can see like flashes of light. That's because during this, there's photographers to the side of the memories taking pictures. It's crazy. I also think it's important Aaron mentions that this is Grisha's memories, which is just kind of because Aaron's pretty much in all of them for up to a certain point. So especially for that first half, the fact that that's Grisha's memories, I think was a neat little line. Zeke comments on how happy and carefree Grisha looks to have been, even though he turned his back on a whole other family he used to have.
And here's another thing, too. In this moment right here, if Zeke would have seen his dad when Zeke himself was a little baby, I'm sure there would have been great little moments between him and his dad. He's almost completely blinded by what happened, later on.
For sure.
That he thinks that Grisha didn't have any good moments with him.
And it's even interesting that Zeke started these memories all the way back this early. Mm-hmm. Because, Aaron's brain was as much used as a potato. There was no... Yeah. Even if Grisha had started this early, it wasn't even going to be nailed into Aaron, at least for a couple years.
It's like you said, it's more for himself than it really is for Aaron.
It's like he's a little OCD. He's got to check everything. Zeke, so he's showing this to Aaron to show him how Grisha brainwashed and planted the seeds of nationalism into him. My note here says Carla's looking hot, and oh boy, was past Ronnie right. I'm going to refer to myself as past and future tenses many times, just because I feel like it's the Paths episode. I should.
You should, and
For example, watch this. Future Ronnie will be doing a count of how many times they just show a shot of Zeke with mouth agaped. Because it happens a lot of times, folks.
I at one point I thought, that's the still image that they used for Zeke the entire episode. He never had a different face.
No, they just animated that one thing. They put different backgrounds behind him. And so past Ronnie counted them. Future Ronnie's going to tell you how many times it happened.
Okay. I like to think, too, there's got to be some memories that he probably doesn't want to see. Some of the memories that I personally would like to see are the Carla and Grisha bedroom memories.
All right, well, that's my lady. Don't talk about her like that. Zeke says he will show as many memories as it takes, and boy, is he going to try. It's not going to work out.
They have an infinite time. He could look through every second of Grisha's life if he wanted to.
Yeah, and we all know that thanks to the calling card later. It's a great calling card tonight. Zeke says Aaron seems pretty subdued, while Zeke already mentions once again about how nice it is for Grisha to live out the rest of his life away from anyone who would chastise him for leaving his other son.
Yep. Not only leaving his other son, but getting his family turned into titans.
Zeke's favorite song is Daddy Issues by Demi Lovato. He just rocks that shit all night long.
Yeah, if Zeke was a modern guy, he would totally be into heavy drugs and probably a whore if he's a girl.
All right. Aaron is a few years older now, chasing a butterfly, yellow butterfly. Are you sensing a color theme?
Yeah.
Past Ronnie was on the lookout for yellow after I saw those first two things very back to back. Future Ronnie is going to tell you there is no yellow theme. This is the only two that I caught.
The present Chazzy will tell you that.
Well, it's not as fun when you do present Chazzy, but all right.
Will tell you that butterfly, I believe it's the same one in the OP that is stomped on at the very end.
All right. It looked like the same butterfly.
It looks like the same.
Are you claiming it's the same butterfly or the same species of butterfly?
Could be the future butterfly. You never know.
Didn't answer my question, but that's fine. Next one, we get Grisha taking care of a patient. Zeke says he used his job as a doctor to get close to those in power, to hunt down the king and steal the founding titan.
Which we mentioned this too. That's not, you would think, especially for somebody that didn't have any memories of his past. Well, when he faked that to Keith back in season 3. They showed us the flashback of him being outside the walls, and he's like, I don't remember anything.
Okay, yeah.
You would think like a guy like that, how is he going to climb the ranks as a doctor when he's a no-name? But we see that he probably has more modern technology to medicine. He has more knowledge about it, and that's how he cured the plague for Carla, worked his way up the doctorate's ladder. Okay?
Yeah. Well, here's a little funny for the people. Travis is actually working his way through the series, as we've mentioned in past episodes. And last night, you and I were actually going through the second part of season 3 with him, where we saw that moment where Keith rides up with Grisha, and we were cracking up because Grisha's like, all I remember is my name and that I was a doctor. And, podcast Ronnie, I never turn it off. I'm like, yeah, he remembered that as Grisha in 12 years of medical experience. But that's all he remembers. Doesn't know what he likes on a sandwich. He just remembers his name and 12 years of medical practice. We have fun. So Zeke goes on to say, sure, if he slips up, it would be dangerous for his wife and child. But he continued, nevertheless. Do you know why, Aaron? Aaron says, very monotone, not about this at all. He says, because he's an asshole who tossed his family into a ditch to restore Eldia. I get it now. I was wrong. I never should have been born. I'm no longer brainwashed. Can we go home?
Yeah. This is some terrible acting right here. I mean, he's like, I'll give it 2 memories and then I'll just tell him I'm unbrainwashed.
He's like, yep, I saw everything I needed to do.
Yeah.
Can't believe he watched me chase that butterfly for that long. I was never going to catch it. And because of that, we get Zeke mouth agaped number 1.
Yeah. He's like, wow, this asshole really has tried to pull that on me right now.
He was like, this is the fucking baseball all over again, you bitch. I'm not falling for it this time. Zeke says, we have all the time in the world as he walks away. We're going to more memories here. We peek in for dinner time with the Jaegers. Finally, I get some food to review. Go ahead.
Before this, I believe.
Although I'm chomping at the bit.
I believe. I don't want to be wrong. We get a quick flash, a quick scene of Hannes dangling booze in front of baby Aaron.
I've got that here. I think that's after the meal. So can I talk about the meal?
Talk about the meal. I didn't have anything over the meal because I just ate breakfast before.
Okay, well, that's fine. I know my way around the kitchen.
And I'm not a
And this is really one of the only times I get to see what kind of meal Carla prepares. And what do you know? Knocked it out of the park. My girl. Looks like some chili or some, a hearty stew of some kind.
What meat do you think's in there?
Meat not super prevalent inside the walls, but I'm sure she managed to do. It looks like she's definitely got some spices. Perhaps she threw in a little curry. It's not like an Indian dish, but she threw it in there because she knows her way around the spices. But yeah, it looks like some chili, hearty stew. And here is the real icing on the cake. 3 different types of bread.
Now, I saw that. And
My
that
girl's
is the
a
one
baker.
thing I caught.
She's a baker. All right?
No, and I'm not buying that. She bought that. There's the local store is right down the street.
Oh, okay.
And I wouldn't even be surprised if she stole it. I could see her being one of those people.
All right, yeah. Like she doesn't have a sourdough starter on the counter right behind her. That's ridiculous. You're unbelievable. And then, yes, you were on the lookout for booze. Hannes has got some, and he's teasing little Aaron with it.
I mean, that might be my favorite scene of the episode.
It was really cute.
It was cute because it's like, it's Hannes, he might be drunk enough to where he actually gives some to him.
Yeah. Then we get Grisha with another patient. This was one of my favorite things that we kind of connected second time through. So we think it's Kenny's dad, right? That's what we're going
to go with. I don't think we got the full view of him, but...
Yeah. And we didn't see him a lot. It was a hard angle. The reason we've come to this conclusion is when Grisha walks out, Kenny's guarding the door. All right? It's not Uri.
Yeah, it's not Uri or Rod. So.
And the ultimate thing that led me to believe that was what was going on is, as Zeke says, Grisha used the fact that he was a doctor to get close to those in power to find the king. The very next scene we see is Grisha has found the Rice family hideout.
Yep.
And some way through Kenny, whether Kenny did it on purpose or not, that's until I'm proven wrong, that's my headcanon because I like it.
And we do know Kenny's one of the only people that actually knows about the hideout, because he's essentially one of maybe like a couple bodyguards that actually guards him.
Exactly.
And when he does find this hideout, though, the looks that Aaron gives throughout this entire episode are chilling. Aaron, to me, might not be a very good guy.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go out and say that.
Aaron seems shocked that he found it this early. Zeke's shocked too, but this is the first time that Aaron showed any emotion at all through basically any of these memories.
This is the first time Aaron showed emotion for like all of season 4 almost.
We can see Grisha clearly nervous. He's sweating bullets. And it's at this time, they're like, he doesn't do this until years later. He found it this early, all that. If there's one thing we know about the history of the Attack Titan, it's that it leads the Vanguard, but also it is one hell of a procrastinator.
Oh, yeah. And also, Zeke, too, is probably a little upset. Like, he's thinking right now, wow, he doesn't do this until 10 years from now. He literally chose to go be happy with his family for 10 years and to stall it. He's like, why couldn't you do that for me?
And so, then we go back to Grisha at home, sharing a big ol' hug with young Aaron, being with his family, as you say, clearly emotional. And this makes Zeke think back to his version of Grisha, who was looking at him, yelling at him angrily from across the table.
Yeah. Which I have to think when we originally got Grisha's thoughts on the whole Zeke situation at the end of season 3, we saw that it was skewed. He was like, why would my son do this? Like, he had no idea. His thoughts were kind of skewed one way, and I have a feeling Zeke's thoughts are skewed way opposite the other way, and really in the middle, it's like a path is where it all connects. Really, Grisha wasn't that terrible of a father. He probably had a few moments where he was a good dad, but really, to Zeke, he was a shitty father, but maybe not as shitty as some of the moments he portrays in his own mind.
Right. A quick Ronnie story to help connect all that together, how this happens, in our life too. My father, Lars, great man. He'll get in these moods. Everyone's dad does this, where he's just on one for no reason. He's mad at me and my brother. Okay?
Which y'all kind of suck, but...
Back in the day, I used to work a job where I would work 3 to 11 p.m. Now, I wasn't in school. I was the type of guy, I didn't like waking up and just waiting for my shift. So what I started to do was I'd go to sleep at like 6 a.m., sleep until it was time to go to my shift. So I was keeping late hours. My family did not know this at the time. It was summer. Travis wasn't driving yet. We had both been sleeping in past like noon. And Lars, rightfully so, had had enough of it. But instead of mentioning it to us, he had enough of it, snapped like a cannon, came down and said, boys, get out of here, okay? Yep. I don't care what you do, go somewhere. House. I was the only one driving at this time, so I get my brother Travis in the car, and what do? I go and park at the very back of a grocery store parking lot. Travis is very confused. I'm just trying to lay back in the recliner and sleep, okay? What do? I send him all the way from the back of the parking lot to go get ice cream in the grocery store.
Yep, like a good brother would.
Yep, he does this. He comes back, okay? He sits in my car. The first thing he does is he looks at me disgusted and says, I forgot a spoon, okay? And I go, you're an idiot. Now, I don't drive him up to the front of the store. What I do is I stay parked where I'm at. I'm still trying to sleep. He gets out again, walks another half mile to the store to get a spoon. And when he comes back, and if you know Travis, this is the kind of thing he would do. He sits down, he pulls out a spoon, which happens to be a metal serving spoon that you would serve mashed potatoes with. I look at him, disgusted, said, why did you buy that spoon that had to be at least $5? He says, keep in mind it's a grocery store, people. He looks at me dead serious. He goes, it was the only spoon they had. So I remembered this, and we were all laughing about it. I told my dad this story, and he said, he was shocked. He goes, you should have just told me that you were keeping, and I wouldn't have said anything. And I went, no, because I was Zeke in that moment. I saw my dad Zeke. Mad. There was no way I was saying anything. I was just going along with it. Whereas my dad saw it as, oh, he loved his sons. He just wanted them to get out of the fucking house.
Yep. And I like to think you explained that to him, saying you were Zeke in that moment, and
Yeah.
at the end your dad just goes, "Who the fuck is Zeke?"
Now, I was a little older. I didn't call the police on him and have him shipped away to another island. But
I mean, that would have been pretty funny.
But I think you guys can see the parallels. So, now we're down in the basement. Oh, yeah. Zeke, talking to Aaron, says he loved his second son enough to delay his restorationist mission.
Yep.
He says it seemed he learned from his past mistakes. However, you moved exactly how Father wanted you to.
This is how it is, ladies and gents. I have 0 children, so please take my advice. The first child, you're going to make mistakes. Shit's going to happen. Second child, you're going to learn from them. You're going to do better, okay?
Yep. And then...
From my... Hey, you know how I'm telling you this? Future memories of my future self are telling me this.
Thank you for finally doing the future game with me. You're saying that's why you're so fucked up and your sister's timeless.
I have 0 idea what any of that just meant.
Well, you're the first child, so that's why you're fucked up.
Well, no, not really, because my dad essentially had the memories of his future self. He did better with me.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
That feels like it went off the rails. Thought you were trying to make a point. Guess not. Here we go. So, this is the first really deep line where we had to pause and go, okay, what does that mean? Zeke says, the original you is gone. Sooner or later, you'll see. So my take was that Aaron was exactly what he wanted, or his father wanted him to be, okay?
All right.
And Zeke is saying, now, whether it's sooner or later, you will turn to how, basically... I want you, the old you is gone. Ooh. We're going to bring you around to my side.
Okay.
Did you have a take?
I think my take at the time, I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah?
My take was him saying...
and you don't have to make anything up if you don't know what you want to say.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But my only request is that you don't try and fake your way through it.
Hey, tell me, I'm going to say this to my future self. Why aren't you showing me everything?
All right. I like that. So, Grisha fell asleep with the picture of his old family out as he mutters, I'm sorry, Zeke. And that gets us Zeke mouth agape number 2.
Yep.
He suddenly stands up, staring at Zeke, and says, is that you? He looks around, sits down, and says, don't be silly. That old bearded man can't be Zeke. This is just a dream. And back-to-back, Zeke mouth agape number 3.
Number 3.
And then just to finish the scene out before we talk about it, Aaron takes the horse by the reins and says, next one, Zeke, next memory, as he opens the door.
And this is where Aaron was trying to evade the situation. And I wanted your thoughts on why did you think he did this?
God.
And it's almost like he was like, oh shit, that wasn't supposed to happen. We need to get out of here. Like,
how much do we talk about this here, and then how much do we just talk about it later when we get more pieces?
We can talk about it later. That's fine.
I mean, unless you have something, because I really don't know what.
This is all I have. Like what I just said. Like he was just like, shit. I don't think that was supposed to happen. He's like, it's time to bounce, Zeke.
Okay. 6 minutes in, we get the OP. A little bit later than last week. Aaron is now 9, chatting it up with the future Colossal Titan. You can just see it in his future as he's, smiling with that goofy-ass haircut.
The future Colossal and Attack and Founding / Warhammer Titan.
Zeke says Grisha loved you and let you grow freely. Zeke is shocked that Aaron was never brainwashed. And Aaron says, I told you this was pointless. We didn't have to go through all those years. Zeke says, in that case, why did you betray me?
And this is interesting right here.
This is very interesting right here.
It's very interesting, but also it's so awesome that Grisha in his previous life on Marley tried so hard to get Zeke to think a certain way. He did absolutely nothing for Aaron, and Aaron thought exactly how he wanted him to previously.
Well, the crazy thing is, this far in, he's no longer a baby anymore. Zeke can remember when he was, 6, 9, like this. Yeah. And it would be a totally reasonable thing to see at this point in the episode, Zeke's whole world starting to crumble around him, because he has been, ever since he knew of Aaron, he's been of this mindset that Grisha has done the same exact thing with him. And now, that's the other thing. I don't know if I said it in my notes. Well, kind of. We saw the last thing of them in the basement, or Grisha in the basement, and then it's like, I think we're to believe that they went through another 4 or 5 year gap where they were pretty much going through every single memory. And they finally gotten to the point where Zeke's like, well, if he's never going to start making this happen, when will he ever?
When will he, yeah. He's like, we're almost at the time when he gets eaten, so
the fact that, like, Zeke's not just crumbling and being like, well, this is what I believe the whole time is kind of interesting, and it gets even more interesting here in a second.
You see here that Zeke, he really did paint a picture of Aaron and had this whole thing about him before he even talked to Aaron.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
He goes on to say, your father told you nothing and made you inherit his Titan, and yet you're fighting just like he wanted. Zeke asks, why do you oppose the conflict? What were you planning to do with the Founder's power? Well,
oh, God, dude.
Good question. Aaron says, I am who I've always been, from the moment I was born. And they are now to the point where Aaron murdered the creeps to save Mikasa, which gets us Zeke mouth agape number 4.
And this is where the mouth agape to me is fully deserved.
This is one of the best shots of the episode.
Yes, because can you imagine 9-year-old Zeke pulling off this same stunt?
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Between that and then the shot I was mentioning is you get Grisha looking pretty shocked because he's just walked into this in the door frame, and then Zeke right behind him just being like, who even is this kid? Like,
dude, I think this is when he realized, oh fuck, I cannot let this guy have the power. Ugh.
Aaron says, you've thought we were the same, but you're wrong. And this was my... We're getting ready to get to a bunch of the quotes of the week. This is the one that I'll choose.
There's at least 30.
He says, rather than letting someone steal my freedom, I'll steal theirs first.
This is some such deep, dark shit, but you can totally see where he's coming from. And I mean, especially in that situation. He's saving pretty much his, I guess, girlfriend slash sister, adopted sister slash one of his best friends from being, who knows what, tortured, raped, murdered.
Yeah.
He's saving her freedom pretty much. You can't really blame him for killing him, but the fact that a 9-year-old did this is just psychotic shit.
I would also like to apologize to anyone who can hear water rushing through the pipes. We're at the studio, but Chaz's mom always has to drive him here, and she, for some reason, is actually outside watering the grass in the middle of January.
Yeah, it's 37 degrees outside. I really don't know what's going on.
But we move onward. Outside, we see Grisha talking to Aaron after the incident. Up top, Zeke and Aaron, they're continuing to talk. Aaron says, my dad didn't make me like that. And this is where... this whole chunk right here.
Yeah.
It's too long. This is the paragraph of the week. He says, you won't find the pathetic little brother you were hoping for in me, nor a convenient little brother to share your emotional scars with. All I see is a man who can't accept himself until he denies his father's wish to restore Eldia. A pathetic man still haunted by his dead father. Wow.
God. And while he's saying this, we have Kid Aaron saying to Grisha, I got rid of some dangerous animals. They just so happen to look like people.
Zeke, he's walking towards all this. He's walking away from Aaron. Says, in that case, said man is grateful to his father, for his actions helped open his son's eyes so he may save the world from the threat of Eldia. In a way, it's the father who saved the world. Don't you think that's a bit ironic, Aaron? And then Aaron has come down the stairs, and we get him watching the moment where Mikasa has the scarf wrapped around her, saying, it's so warm.
Dude, this made me genuinely start to tear up. I'm not going to lie. You can see in this moment, he wasn't even, like, Zeke was replying to him. He didn't care what Zeke had to say. He wanted to watch that happen. And that's when you know, okay, the owl saved Mikasa and Armin, what Aaron's true intentions really are.
And as a real bro, I got a Kleenex and handed it to you so you wipe your eyes.
And what I'm kind of scared of is that's the only thing he truly cares about is good old Mikasa and Armin.
Okay.
Because that whole scene right there, you forget. And I feel like at the end of season 3 is when you really forget how Eren, he was always I'm going to kill all the Titans. But as a kid, he truly was such a maniac.
He was a handful.
He was a maniac. Not even as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old. He was a maniac, of course, then. Yeah. But just his training, and when he gets to 14, 15 years old, that guy was insane.
I would love to sit on an outdoor patio sipping a refined glass of red with one Carla Yeager as she told me what a handful it was raising that child and all his little outbursts.
I know.
It'd be crazy. In a later memory, Zeke says, I have the power of the Founding Titan in my hand. I can carry out the euthanization plan at any time. And this is the big thing for me. He says, but I will never abandon you, just like Mr. Tom did for me. Oh. And my note is, why? He sees that Eren's upbringing isn't at all what he thought. He's been seeing things that have got to scare him. But yet, is it just... Here's the only take that I could have. Is it just that he's desperate to have a little piece of family?
Yeah, I think about Zeke's entire life. He's been lying to everyone. No, ever since he was a kid. Grisha, he's literally, from Grisha's side, he was having to be like, yes, I want to be a ward. He goes to his grandparents. Yeah, I want to do this. Oh, it was really bad what Eldia does. He's just lying to everybody, getting brainwashed. But then when he gets older... He joins Marley. He's a warrior now. He lies to all of his comrades, says he's really on their side. He never really has somebody that he cares about, and I think he's like, well, now that I actually have a brother, I can finally have one person in my life that I care about and he cares about me. And I think he is so desperate right now because he realizes, yeah, it's probably not going to happen, but he's like, well, I've got all the time in the world. I'm in the paths. I'm just going to do it anyways.
Yeah. He says, before I save the world, I want to save you. And does that even mean the same thing anymore? Because it's not from the brainwashing of his father. Just the brainwashing that Eren instilled in himself because he was born into this world.
He brainwashed himself.
Back in the basement, Zeke watches Grisha write the final line, humanity has not perished, in his book. He looks at the picture once more, closes the book, locks the drawer as he looks up and sees Eren. He stares right at him.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything.
And why does he not say anything?
That's a question I am not prepared to answer, Chadley.
There's a couple moments in here that I hope next episode kind of addresses, that I would like for next episode to address. I'm imagining that it probably will, but I don't know.
Back at the house.
Then, well, you know what I called this?
Uh-huh.
This is, remember what I said? This is like a DMT trip. I'm going to call this the PMT trip, the Paths trip, okay?
I don't like that.
PMT trip.
I don't like that at all. Is that in your notes? Don't tell me that's in your notes.
When he holds the key.
Don't tell me I was typing all the important stuff. You wrote that in your notes, reread it, and was like, yeah.
I put
that's
when he
getting said on the air.
Let me read exactly what I put. Okay.
All right.
Grisha sees Eren when he holds the key up, and we are now in the PMT trip.
Okay, all right. Pause. As someone who, as we discussed last episode, has never swam in a vat full of orange juice with no pulp, what does DMT stand for? Do you know?
That's a great question.
So then my question after that would be... if you don't know what DMT stands
for...
Oh,
dude, I know it. Holy shit, I know it. Dreaming multiple timelines. Paths, multiple timelines. That's exact... Dude, told you.
Okay. What do you say to an explanation like that? I wish I would have looked over at you at that moment you typed that line in and reread it and was like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tell my past self to erase that one.
So back at the house, it's the moment Mikasa and Eren come in from wood gathering from the first episode. Carla just slams Eren gives him the old, "Oh, you actually worked hard, Aaron," and then gives him a little ear pinch because she knows he didn't actually work hard. Mm-hmm. Oh, Mikasa.
And how cute is this, dude? I think this is the second time. Aaron has 2 moments in this entire episode with his family where you can see genuine sadness in him. It was the time with Mikasa, and it was this time right here.
Yep, I love that. I love it because
old Aaron. Sorry, old Aaron.
Think about
there's multiple Aarons.
Think back to Aaron after he watched his mom die, and he was just yelling at himself like, "Why were you always such a little shit all the time?" Mm-hmm. So it can't be good to be Ebenezer Scrooging and seeing that. Ebenezer, you know what I mean? You know what I mean when I say Ebenezer?
Name one person under the age of 95 years old named Ebenezer.
Name one guy over the age of 210 named Ebenezer. Love it. Our dinosaur, I think that was on a Patreon episode, so I probably shouldn't talk about it. We have a new mascot for the podcast. His name's Ebenezer. I put my vote
I like
for
it.
All right.
He's our Paths dinosaur. Hey, remember those dinosaurs running in Season 2 opening?
Oh, they're coming. Wait for them.
They're coming.
So, Grisha, he's leaving for checkups in the interior. Mikasa snitches on Aaron, says he wants to join the scout regiment. And how about that, gets us a Zeke mouth agape number 5 to hear all this family drama going down. Aaron explains himself. Grisha stands up to leave. What?
I'm just trying to think right here. I wish Zeke would have said more about Mikasa. Mm-hmm. Because, obviously he knows the Ackermans. He never saw Mikasa fight in Season 3 or whatever. Right. He saw Levi beat his ass. But he's probably thinking, wait, this badass of a chick was your adopted sister? Like, I wish we had a little talk about that.
Yeah, I did too. Cool. Yeah, seeing his thoughts on Mikasa.
Yeah.
I actually would really like that. Good point, Chad.
Wow, it's the first time you've ever said that.
Grisha stands up to leave, and I don't know what to think. He's staring at future Aaron, present Aaron. What do you want to call this Aaron? I don't even know.
Paths Aaron.
Okay, he's staring at Paths Aaron as he's talking to young little baby Aaron, but he's not a baby. He's an age. That much I know.
Wait, this is right before, so he's 10.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
This is right before that day, right?
That'll work. It is. I just,
I think it's the day of
I got so... listen, dude. You're right. Okay?
You know what it is? It's that day.
So you can quit, showing your evidence, because I think we all know you're right. I just got so lost in the past that I don't know what to call these fucking multiple editions of Aaron.
This is when Grisha leaves to go to the royal family. This is totally that day.
But he looks right in the eyes of Paths Aaron and says, "I'll show you the basement when I get back." And little Aaron, who doesn't even, he's not paying attention to where his father's looking. He doesn't understand the concept of eye contact, yes. He's just like, "Really, Dad? Cool."
So, we went back to that episode to see what he was doing, but they don't show his face shot of when he says it.
Which is just crazy, and there's, come on. How does that? The episode they released so long ago, they knew...
Yeah.
Or they just...
Do you think that he really wrote that far ahead?
Dude?
I think he did.
Dude? I don't know.
Some of this shit is just too on point for it not to be just... It's not a coincidence.
But we went back and looked, and he's just... All you see is the key, and Aaron... So we don't know what he's looking at.
Well, how disturbing is Grisha's face, though? How does Aaron, not even just Aaron, how does Mikasa or somebody what the fuck is your dad looking at?
And I even had in my notes, because I was at that time, I was like, that we're going to go back to the first episode. We're going to see where Grisha said this, looking at little Aaron, and we didn't, because I was already thinking about, okay, here goes Ronnie's, frustration, because I took the basement scene with Zeke as something that definitely actually happened, but now they're going to show me back in episode 1 where he's looking at young Aaron, but they don't show me, so I can't even be mad because what is even going on?
Yeah.
And with that being said, it's your turn, so go for it. Good luck.
All right, so since it's that day...
Hold on, let me prepare myself for this PMT trip.
That sounded pretty cool. I won't lie. When I
cool.
said it, didn't sound that cool. When you 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 said it, didn't sound that cool. So we got Grisha confronting the royal family. This is the stuff that we've seen before, that we've originally seen, where he says, I'm an Eldian, a subject of Ymir. I'm from outside the walls. And then it cuts straight to the calling card. And I'm all about the calling card, so I want to cover
don't
this.
fake about it. You know what? And here's the thing. I don't even need to say anything about it because everyone knows how big of a fake you are with the calling card. So go ahead and act like you're all about this.
The coordinate. The place where all the paths intersect. Their time is both instant and infinite.
The pod is just better when you respect the calling card. Let's go.
PMT is what I got at the end.
Nope.
So we go back to Grisha. Grisha pleads with the king to defend the Titans attacking. Frida looks like she wants to. She's got that little urge in her. She's like worried. She's like, oh shit, is this really happening? And then she closes her eyes, opens them, and we see the purple founding Titan eyes. And nothing's ever come good with a purple-eyed woman.
Well, that was cool. I don't know about you. This was the first time I had ever been like connected to the fact
to the paths
that almost the like the first king's will
is the king.
Well, what?
It's almost like no. This is
we were
how
on two
I
different
took it.
wavelengths.
This is how I took it. The first king's will is not necessarily that person, just overcome with emotions. It's like the king's ghost physically takes over their body in this moment.
Yeah, that's. I don't know why you said the king, but that is what I was taking it as. Yeah, it was like because we've never obviously we've only ever seen the Rice family with the purple eyes, or so I was like, holy shit, when their eyes are like that. It's not that they're not there, but it's like the first king will is controlling.
It's like they're about to go against it, and then he steps up in the paths, and he goes, nah, give me that body. Let me say something real quick.
Love that.
Yeah.
Freaking love that.
And he says, well, we'll just call it the king, because Grisha addresses it as the king as well, but she says, we mustn't escape our sins. Judgment has to come. I realized something during the Titan War. We must not allow the power of the Titans to fall into the people's hands. If it falls into weak hands, the world will go into hell. We must accept our sins to save the world. And that's when it pans over to good old buddy Zeke.
Where we get mouth agape number 6. Thank you for setting me up there.
And he goes, of course. He's like, I agree completely with her. Which then this leads a little beep bop in my head too. I know Zeke, obviously what's happened in his past has led him this way, but he has royal blood as well. Is that why he's kind of swayed that way even more? It's like he's got his own thoughts, but is he even thinking like that too because he has royal blood?
Perhaps.
But he says, yeah, I agree with her, but, they die from Grecia anyways. He's like, well, I know what happens here.
What can you do?
He's like,
Can't change the past.
He's like, Aaron, you want to bounce real quick? I've seen what happens here.
I've seen this one before.
Zeke says to Aaron, you once saw this memory and said you were disgusted by it. As we get a look at Aaron, who has the meanest, muggiest face he's ever given on this show.
This guy is grimacing greatly.
That was awesome.
GG.
GG. Grisha keeps pleading that, my family is right inside the walls. You erase the people's memories, and now you think that the ignorant being eaten by Titans is atonement? And then Frida says, no matter what we do, it won't bring back the lives that we've taken. No matter how much we repent, we can prevent lives from being stolen outside the wall. It's us Eldians that need to die.
Okay, and so this is where I thought the Rice family was super interesting, because none of them step in to say anything when she's talking about this. And we know back in the past, Rod and Uri as young boys
pleaded to their dad, right?
Pleaded to their dad to put an end to all this. And it's like now with Rod being the father, Frida being under the first will, that they've all become some sort of fucking cult in their little suicide pact outfits. I don't know what their plan is here. Like, they're hiding out from it. Are they just gonna sit down here with each other until they all die off? Like, what?
It does seem like they're like, oh, they don't know where we're at. We'll just hide in here and let everybody else die, and we'll live our lives, like, peacefully over here. It's very disturbing, and it's also, I think Rod at this point, like you said, when he pleaded with Uri, he's like, oh, I know this shit. He's like, I'm not going to say anything to Frida. It's not going to change anything. I've seen it with my father. I've seen it with my brother. He's like, fuck
well, then
it.
He's been going on for so long. We know he buys into it.
Yeah.
As he was trying to inject all Historia. But also, we haven't seen Rod in a while. Anytime I see that character, just the way that they draw him, the way they animate him,
he's not the best looking.
I cannot take him seriously.
Well, hopefully he gets to live, though. That'd be awesome. Aaron then gets even angrier. I didn't think his face could get muggier. And he's the full embodiment. I put right here, he's the full embodiment. God, I can't say that word. Let me say it one more time.
Go for it.
Full embodiment of Mr. Deviant Devilman.
Yeah,
he has taken the human form.
I mean, his face is so scrunched up. You could see if he had this face on when he was initially sent up to the founder Ymir, you can see why she made Mr. Deviant Devilman look the way he does. That was already what his face looked like. She just worried about other things.
And I put right here, he's officially he starts to walk. I put this is a little PMT trip right here. He's officially fighting a ghost of the past as a future man.
Whoa.
It's past people versus future.
Everyone doing all right? We all together here? Let's get a head count real quick.
Oh, I've got a head sticking straight up right now. This scene made me stick all the way up.
All right.
And it's not just because Frida's pretty attractive.
Fucking gross. She is pretty attractive, though.
Frida then says, even if you steal the founding titan from me, you can't. And Grisha, interrupts her and says, I know I can't use it. Each of the 9...
Zeke mouth at game number 7.
Yes. Each of the 9 has special traits. I have the attack titan, and for ages, the inheritors of the attack titan have never bowed to anyone.
The attack titan's history is so cool. Because, it and the founding titan, they're like friendly rivals.
Yes. That's what's so... It's like I said, it's like one is the future, the other is the past, and they're battling in the present.
It's like they're fighting for the same thing, but it's kind of like... It's like in the sense the attack titan's like, yeah, we want the same thing, but I will never bow to you. We're going to do it separately.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, I know the reason why. To fight the king's self-righteousness. And holy fuck, when he said this is when my balls started tingling. Like we just said, I love the whole concept of we're in the paths, so just fasten your seatbelts, okay? We were led by our memories all for this moment, which just shakes me even more. He's saying, we've been led by future attack titans to get to this part right here.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to you. I was thinking about seatbelts. I think we've passed seatbelts at this point. We need some, we're sitting down in a fucking loop-de-loop roller coaster. We've got an over-the-shoulder harness that some 17-year-old kid comes walking by in between Jewel sessions and gives the lightest of tugs on to make sure that we're actually in there, and then we just go.
Yeah, and the whole place just reeks. It just smells like sweaty.
It smells so bad.
It smells terrible. It smells like puke and sweat.
Yeah, the guy in front of you is spitting out dip spit on the roller coaster. It's coming back, slapping you in the face.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible place to be, but we're having a good time.
You still have the remnants of the, you just went down the water slide.
Yeah.
Or what is it called? The river? The raging river?
Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, I wanted to clarify if you were talking about the lazy river or the real rushing river.
Rushing rapid river, where you're in the circular thing and it gets splashed up. And no telling how dirty that water is. We don't know where it's been.
Which I'm not that kind of guy. I've never been riding a rapid river and been like, oh, is this water dirty?
What were we talking about?
We were talking...
Oh, yeah, here we go.
We were talking about... And I hate to say this because it was my fault because I was thinking about seatbelts. We're talking about the most important part of the episode.
All right. I'm getting into it. Let me get into my, let me get overtaken by my future self. We were led by our memories all for this moment. The attack titan can glimpse into the memories of its future inheritors. It's able to know the future. Okay, so right there, glimpse into the memories of the future inheritors. It can only get glimpses. That's why it doesn't know everything that's going to happen, but it knows key events. Which makes sense. There's been times where Aaron, throughout season 4, has almost like seemed like he knew kind of what was going on.
Well, it's like he doesn't even just get glimpses into his future inheritors. He's getting glimpses into future himselfers. Yeah,
himselfers. It was like that one time where he's like, when he tells Reiner, when he fights him in Liberia, he's like, "Oh, I'll see you later, Reiner."
Dude, all right. You ready to get a little Whoa. What was I trying to say?
Oh, God. Fasten your harness / your
Are you ready
tongue.
to get a little wacky?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a look into Ronnie's notes. So when I heard this, I said, what does this even mean for Aaron? What is he seeing? We got the scene back when they finished the train or what, and they're riding on the little carts, and he goes, who's going to inherit my Titan? And they all talk about it. Did he not already know? Has he not already seen his future inheritor? But then, you know what I just thought about? As I said, he's seen himself.
Yeah.
What if he hasn't seen the future inheritor because he's the last one?
Oh my God. I think you just solved the riddle. I think you solved the riddle, buddy. And now I also put in my notes right here, I don't know if this has anything to do with what we just said. I just thought it was super interesting.
Baby.
Looking at the first episode, it says, "To you 2,000 years into the future." What if it's really to you 2,000 years in the past? Not that episode, but what if for 2,000 years, the very first Attack Titan?
No, I'm with you. Are you telling me that the very last episode of this series is to you in 2,000 years?
In the past.
In the past?
Yes. I am.
All right, well, we win. That is the last thing we'll ever say in the podcast. We figured it out. No, let's keep talking about it. I think we should keep talking about it.
As Grisha says, it's able to know the future, which I want to know how much of the future it's able to know. Aaron is still giving the meanest mug of the century, while Frida looks like she's shitting herself. And at this moment, I don't know if it's Frida shitting herself or if it's the original king shitting himself, which is awesome that the king is still in the fight after he's been dead for so long.
And I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm interrupting you, but I've got notes, and I don't know where to put them. I don't know where to put my notes, okay? So can I put them here?
Put them here. Lay it on me.
I also badly wanted to go back in time where we get the famous owl line of saying, "Save Mikasa and Armin," and then he says, "Oh, whose memories are those?" And then he explains to Grisha that another thing in the Attack Titan is you can see the future inheritors.
Which that might happen. We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted it. It could happen.
That's what I'm saying. We're in the past.
Grisha already knows that now, and does he know that because the owl told him in the little pamphlet of bullet points that was, "You're inheriting the Attack Titan. Here's what you need to know," or does he just know from his own experience?
That's a good question. Don't know. And we look at Zeke, and what do we have?
We have Zeke mouth agape number 8.
He is bamboozled, okay?
He's shocked.
He thought he did a switcheroo. Well, buddy, you're about to see the switcheroos of all switcheroos. Frida says she did not know that. And when I say Frida, I'm really meaning the king. Mm-hmm. So we have the king of all the way back then. The Attack Titan has been so secretive that it never let anyone but its inheritors know.
Never bent the knee.
Grisha says you can't... Wait. Yeah, Grisha says, "You can't use the full power of the founder because of the vow renouncing war, and this is where I eat the founder and I end the royal bloodline."
Whew.
The future is already decided as he goes to stab himself, and Frida's family just starts running off. You know, the whole panic happens, and we see the knife drop.
Which leads to Zeke mouth agape number 17.
Yes. Frida, about to bite her hand, stops because she sees that Grisha falls to his knees and is crying now. And he goes to kill children. And he's thinking back, he's a doctor. He saves kids' lives.
And a father, I would say.
And a father. He didn't have the killer... Oh, I put right here. He didn't have the killer instinct like Kruger did, who shipped so many kids off to paradise and cut off so many fingers.
He was cutting off so many little nubs, it wasn't even funny.
Zeke, again.
Mouth agape number 23.
Can't believe his eyes as the quadruple switcheroo commences. The family is then begging Frida to kill Grisha. We've got all the siblings. We've got Rod. They're just like, "Oh, kill him now! Don't let him escape. What are you doing?"
I love when everyone has to say and they all take turns saying it.
Yeah,
that's how things work.
Grisha looks like he's officially given up. I mean, he looks so down. He's like, "Just kill me." That's what his face looks right now. He's like, "I don't care if you kill me." When Aaron bends down and says, "What are you doing? Stand up, Dad." And I don't know why, but it just made my balls tingle even more right there.
Okay, don't know why
Very
you're making
heavily.
it sexual.
It wasn't sexual.
Sexual. I didn't say that word good.
Speaking his inner Kruger, maybe Kruger even told him, or maybe he told Kruger to say this speech to Grisha originally. Who even knows at this point? But he says, "Do you remember why you're here? To avenge your little sister eaten by dogs. For your comrades, Dinah, Kruger, to avenge them, you keep moving forward. Even if you die, even after you die. Aren't you the one who started this story?" As Grisha then gets a flash of seeing his little sister, him and her running outside of the wall. Then that's when he cries, screams the most terrifying yell, and stabs his hand. And my God, I don't know how this makes sense right here. If Grisha bamboozled Zeke this entire time and could see them the entire time, but Aaron told him not to make any face. Don't let Zeke know that. This is what I'm thinking.
Okay, break it down.
Possibly Grisha could see them this entire time.
Okay.
Or, as we see later on, Grisha saw the future memories of Path's Aaron with Zeke and knew that they were there because of the future memories. And in that moment he was on his knees, Aaron gave him, or he saw the glimpse of the future memory of Aaron saying that to him.
Whoa. What the fuck did you just say? Here's the problem. I know what you mean, but I don't know how you just said it.
Exactly.
I think I got to where you wanted me to get to, but also fuck you.
So Grisha goes insane, and this is very chilling. This is such an anime moment, but for some reason it just shook me to my core. Him like prancing around.
A lot of things happening to your body this episode. Is what I'm noticing.
My body. Who knows what's going on in there? Man, a
lot of things are shaking, gyrating, moving, dropping, rising.
Well, not dropping. They dropped a long time ago. But PMT, dude. This trip. Whew. But he's yelling at the sky, talking about how could I kill children, and saying, he then yells, "I did it, Aaron. I killed the Rice family, all but their father. Are you happy? Will Eldia really be saved because of this?" And this is just very terrifying. Do you think we'll get to see Aaron possibly saying this to him, or?
Eventually, probably we'll see whatever he's referring to. Maybe, I guess.
And we also see his hand. I don't know. And I'm hoping we get a little bit more on it, but maybe he just saw like I said, the future memory of Aaron telling him to stand up.
At some point after Grisha murders them, Zeke mouth agapes 37 times.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other thing, the crazy part of this is, other than maybe some Titans on the way to the wall, how many times, because Grisha's freaking out here, how many times has he even killed as a Titan?
None.
This could very well be the first time.
How many times has he turned into a Titan?
Hey, that was my next note. Less than 5 for sure.
Less than 5. And think about that. How many times did Kruger turn into a Titan? I would say less than 5 as well.
Less than 5. I mean, that guy was procrastinating.
He was an officer.
Everything. He was on a whole other continent where you couldn't get away from people.
Yeah, he would rather cut off fingers in his human form than his Titan form. And we see too in Grisha's hand, he does have the vial. So he took one of the vials. We obviously know he eventually goes, injects Aaron with it. So I originally thought in the beginning of the show, he somehow got, after we knew that it was spinal fluid. Kruger gave it to him or something? Kruger gave it to him, or he somehow got his own spinal fluid out of his neck.
Okay.
And contracted it in there. That's what I thought, but we see that he stole it from the Rice family.
Nice.
He asks, "Why won't you show me everything? The wall being destroyed that day. Is Carla safe?" And he goes, "Was this the only way?" And then he's sobbing. It's a very sad, chilling moment. And he goes, "You're there, aren't you, Zeke?" He tells Zeke, "It's over. Aaron will get what he wants. You're not in control anymore, pretty much." He goes, "I saw the memories of what comes next, and it's terrible." Oh, God. Is he meaning what comes next in Aaron's life?
Well, that's the thing is...
Or is he meaning what comes next, as in when I go give this to my son?
Yeah.
What comes then? Or is he meaning what comes?
Well, that's just excellent writing because that way you get both sides of it.
Yeah. Maybe he's talking about all of it.
You can set up Aaron again for being like, oh shit, what is he going to do? Or you can set him up for being like, no, I mean, think about everything that's happened. It's all been pretty fucking terrible. So he's not wrong even if he says what happens next. Because he only sees bits and pieces too.
Yeah, and then that's when he looks up to Zeke.
He's an unreliable narrator.
He really is. And he's a little psycho right now, and I don't blame him. This is probably pretty traumatic. But he looks up to see Zeke, and he says, "Zeke, is that you? I'm sorry, I was a terrible father." And he hugs him while he's crying. And what do we have from Zeke?
I mean, his mouth has just been open for the past 5 minutes. I could have thrown an entire bucket of popcorn into his mouth at this point.
He tells him he loves him, and he says, "If only we had more time together," which was just such a fucking sad moment, man. Poor Zeke, dude. This guy really has never had any, besides Tom, for the little time he had with him. And then he had to eat him. He had to eat the guy that he actually liked.
Right.
He has just had no people truly love him.
It's been pretty rough.
And then Zeke starts to cry and just says "Father" with his mouth.
Yeah, mouth agape number 92.
And then in that moment, Grisha whispers into Zeke's ear, "Please stop, Aaron." Which is just, my God.
Okay, yep. And then what happens? Let's just finish it all, and then
we're doing it right here.
Right there.
We get 10-year-old Aaron, what looks to be a young Aaron, like about 10, mean mugging the camera. He's got one of those looks again.
Yeah.
He's yelling, and then Zeke, what looks like to me, Zeke being shot out of the memory portal into the paths, back into the sand paths, and we see Aaron doing a T pose in front of the path coordinate.
You're right. And it's the quadruple switcheroo.
It's the quadruple switcheroo. And Aaron, I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he shot him out of there. I thought Zeke was in control, but I guess not.
So there was also, I don't know if you didn't put in your notes, there was also one other thing that you realized, then we went back and looked, that you didn't mention about...
Oh my God, okay.
That was like a really cool connected thing.
When was that? When did it show?
I think you must have skipped it a little bit, because I bet it was when they were still down with the Rice family.
Oh yeah, okay. It was right after he cries. Okay. It was right after when he says, "You started this story, didn't you?" And then he stabs his hand with a knife. It then shows, obviously him killing the family, but then it shows a glimpse of Aaron kissing Historia's hand, which then makes us to believe that him kissing her hand was how he saw all of this future shit. The moment that he saw it.
So this is the last episode of season 3. We went back and looked, and because this was all, well, you should not have been this good to remember this. I've seen this show about 70 times by now. We went back and looked, and when he kisses her hand, he thinks about down here with his father. You don't see anything that would spoil any of this at all.
No.
But as you pointed out, it was after that when he saw that. We didn't see it, but we think that Aaron saw it. Because after that, that's when we get monotone Aaron at the sea with dipping his ankles, and he's just like, if we go across the sea and eliminate and...
Yeah, which is crazy because... Grisha in that moment is the founding and the attack. So he's kissing Historia's hand. We know when Historia's touched him and stuff, he's seen glimpses of the founding Titan. So he's seen moments from Frida, he's seen moments from Grisha. But in that moment, it's like his future memories and the founding both connected, and he saw all of what just happened.
Oh, yep. So, okay. We're done with the recap, right?
We're done with the recap.
So does Zeke, does he not even have the founding power?
I don't know. I could see it being a twist where they both kind of have it.
Okay.
Because he was able to use some of it with like the chain, or command Ymir with the chains. Here's the only thing. Ymir is a slave to the royal bloodline. Aaron's got to somehow undo that to where she goes along with him. If that's true. If that's true, that could be a lie as well. We don't. Right. There's been so many bamboozling.
Yeah, I don't see how we get out of the past now, because they seem to have set it up, and now they're going to have to... Yeah, they did all this stuff of, Aaron's so intimidating, it was the quadruple switcheroo, but now they have to have it make sense. Because where we're left off here, as a show watcher, I'm just worried.
You're worried?
And not only because I think bad things are happening, but right now they have opened up so much that it's like, okay, you guys got a lot going, and it's all cool during the ride, but now you got to make it all make sense, and for me to see it and be like, okay.
Well, yeah.
Because we're dipping our toe into the biggest fear when I've talked about the timey-wimey bullshit path stuff. Everything up to this point has been cool.
Oh, yeah. I thought
all the moments are hitting, but now you got to bring it home.
It's been cool in the coolest of ways, because I didn't expect it to go any of this route whatsoever. I mean, obviously, I don't think anybody expected this, but I wasn't expecting all of this future shenanigan stuff, which actually is really cool to me. I don't know what I was even expecting. The fact that we got to see all of his like memories of him being a little kid was the coolest part.
Because here's the thing, all this episode was Grisha's memories. Grisha's on his knees saying, Aaron, why did you not show me everything? Why did you not show me Carla? Why did you not show me the walls? We didn't see Aaron show him anything. All we saw was Aaron perhaps talking to him, telling him stuff. So I don't even know what's going on in Grisha's mind. We're just seeing him outside the body doing stuff, physically doing stuff.
God, what if Grisha could see them that entire time, and he had told Grisha, he's like, yeah, when you're gonna see us throughout all this, but don't look. He's like, don't act like you see us. And then
in that theory, that's fine. Would that be? What is that? Is that a future vision? Zeke's with him every single time. It's not like down in the cave or whatever you want to call that, where Aaron's telling him, "Get up, Dad, fight for it." Aaron couldn't have told him, "Hey, I know you can see us, but don't think about it." That would have had to be a future vision that Grisha saw when Zeke wasn't around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. That it is like when you get into time fuckery, there's always going to be, I think 100% of the time, there's always going to be like a little plot hole in there, because it's, which is fine. As long as it makes enough sense. Make
enough of it make sense, because we're treading in the area where I remember saying we're going to get to the end, and because of paths, there's going to be a character that says, "Oh, I saw how it went down the whole time, and then I just made it happen," or something like.
Which we're kind of already there, though. Think about it. Like the Attack Titan is a future. We'll say a future ghost. We'll say dude, Aaron could have been the Attack Titan from the beginning, if that makes any sense. If the king is the king from whatever many years ago, he could have been the future Attack Titan all along, and he's sending all this shit all the way back to every Attack Titan.
There's an Attack Titan's will.
Yeah, and he controls the Attack Titan's will as King Fritz controls the Founding Titan's will, and really this whole story has been the Attack Titan versus the Founding Titan. Yeah. I mean, there's so many. It's so wild.
Yeah. That's the end of my notes. I don't know what else to say. I am at a state of, I don't know if I've ever been, more excited to see what's coming, but it's been a long time since I've been this worried.
And okay, what do you have? Do you have any other takes on Ymir herself? Because she's got to be a big part. We've seen her twice now in the paths.
How is she a big part? Just because the founding power works through her?
Yeah, it's like wouldn't they answer the question of why she's enslaved to the royal? You would think that's got to be an answer. I mean, that's why there's got to be I feel like there could be so many more episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. Are they interested in answering that question, or is the start of the Titans, is that just a means to start the story, and that's just they're not interested in answering that question as much as telling the story that is in front of them. I don't know.
And then we're so deep into this PMT trip that we have got a whole outside world where Aaron's head is in Zeke's hand. And it's just sitting there. Time is still. Oh, man. Just craziness, dude. And how many more Paths episodes are we going to get? Can our brains handle it?
I can't handle a whole lot more.
No. It is just this trip, this PMT trip.
And I think you know that you've said that too many times now, don't you?
I mean, I might be saying it just to get under your skin.
Well, and I hate to tell you this, it's not just my skin. It's listeners all over the world's skin that are saying, wow, stop saying that, Chaz.
Well, when people tell me to stop saying that, you know what I say? I'll say it because I was born into this world.
And do you have anything else to say? Because I don't.
That's not it.
I think I'm good.
I think we did pretty good, guys. Tell us how good we did in the comments. Don't tell us how bad we did.
So, yeah, everyone join the Discord. If you haven't already, we've got a fun new thing we're doing. A member of the Discord has started live watch parties on Sunday nights. So if that's something that you might be interested, thank you to Jade on Discord. He's doing them at 7 p.m. Central Time every Sunday. So hop into the Discord, do that if that's something you might be into. Follow us on Twitter at podcastchronic. Subscribe on YouTube.
Rate us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we love seeing those. 5 stars. Guys, you made it this far. Come on, give it to us.
And write a comment. We love to see the comments. Tell us we're terrible, but then give us 5 stars.
That is our favorite. When it just keep it short and simple. Just say really bad podcast, 5 stars.
Yeah.
All right. I've been Ronnie.
I've been Chad.
Zeke just mouth agaped for the 100th time.
Peace.
107th time. What's a good number?
725.
For the 725th time. Peace.
Peace.